Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, thank you for the support that you guys have been showing me. It is really appreciated. So today is Crafters Companion Day. Most of the products that I'm using today are going to be Crafters Companion. There are two pieces that I'm using from other companies, but I'll point them out as I go along, and that's purely because I haven't got anything in Crafters Companion that was similar. If you've been buying from Crafters Companion for a while, you'll probably find that you've already got something similar. Okay, so we're going to be making a fancy box. So I'm going to start, I've got a piece of the Centura Cherry Red, and I've got that at 8 by 8. So I'm just going to go along and score on the box lid side of my board. I'm using the Hunky Dory one. And I'm going to score at 2 inches. Sorry, let's do it on the reverse side and see if that scores a little better. That's better. So again, just going around all sides, the 2-inch mark. Okay, and I have gone out a little bit there, just where, let's bring that back round. So what I'm going to do is just go along in that little groove and press that out. It's going to be covered anyway, so it's not really going to make it any difference. So that's going to be the lid of our box. And then on the box base side, I've got a piece, I've just used white multi-purpose card. If you want to use the Centura Pearl White or Snow White, you can do. I just wanted that little bit of contrast with the sort of matte and the gloss of the Centura. And this one, on, like I say, on the box base, we're going to go and score at 3 inches along. I might have to do this in 2 parts just because I have got the smaller board. And I'm going to go around just making sure that I rotate it and keep scoring on that box base side. That's just going to give us that little bit of clearance we need so that this box fits inside itself. The box and the lid fit inside themselves at the end. And again, just keeping going along at the 3-inch, and then last rotation. No, let's do it that way. That way's the way I'm doing it. There we go. Okay. So we should have a 4 by 4 inch square in the middle. So just with any normal box for the base, I can go ahead and make that up now. So I'm just going to burnish all of those score lines down first of all. And then I can come in with my scissors and down and cut my wedge out. And I tend to rotate and do it on the same corner. Some people like to do both on, like, say, there and there and there and there, so that it, you get a sort of, you get one side that hasn't got any folds on it. I've never really bothered about it. I think once it's made up you can't really tell, but if you prefer to make up your box that way, that's absolutely fine. Okay. So just pop those out of the way, and then I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape. So I just little each of these ready. go ahead and give those all a burnish down just to make sure they have stuck nicely. You can see my glue picks up bits on my desk, so it still sticks fine though, so we don't worry. And then I'm going to use my all-purpose. So basically this red liner tape is just going to hold it while it sticks. And then I'm just going to line it up so that the top is flush. And that red liner should hold it in place while that all-purpose goes off. And again, just going around each of the corners, lining those up nice and flush. This piece is a little bit slippery. And you can see I've made quite a nice deep box. So the theme of this box is going to be sort of love, Valentine's sort of anniversary sort of type occasion, just because it's coming up and it's fun to do something a little bit sort of topical. Oops, that should not come off with the red tape. There we go, just pop it back on and put that one back on there. Okay, so there's the base of our box there, so I'm going to pop that to the side, and then I'm going to come in with my Centura red. Just going to go through and burnish. So just going back to when I was doing the scoring, it seemed to work better when I did it upside down. Okay, so if you're having problems, then it might be worth doing the same. I don't know if that's an accepted thing. It's not something I've seen on Crafters TV recently. And to be honest, I don't very often use Centura Pearl, just because it's so nice. I think it has to be an occasion worth using it for. So I tend to hoard it, I'm afraid. But I have had quite a lot of this cherry red in quite a few bundles, so it's nice to use it. Okay, so that is the base of our lid. Obviously, when it's made up, that will fit over the top of our box. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in these page edges from the Mini Memories collection, and I decided that I would use this scalloped one. So I'm going to turn that over. I've made a mark round about where the center is. Okay, now what I am going to need to do is to cut these tags down, these sort of side bits that I'm going to be gluing on. So I'll do that once I've done the die cutting on here. So like last time, I'm going to bring in my ruler, I'm going to bring in a pencil. I know this should be 4 inches. Turn my ruler around. Yep, so just at the 2-inch mark, I'm just going to put a little mark, and then just eyeballing that up. I want that on the edge of my page, and just pop that onto there. And what I'm going to have to do is pop this through 4 times. So let me just see if that's going to fit on there. Let's get the big plates. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so I've got the big plates here. So I'm going to pop that on. Let's see, we'll go that way. And then those bits over the top. through as she goes. Takes a little while. This is it being the bigger plates. So if I move that over to there, that over to there. Now what I can do is just peel that off. Okay. And again, and it's marked this a little bit going through, but it's going to be fine because a lot of it is going to be covered up anyway. So again, just marking that 2-inch mark, popping that center point on, popping that in straight. Let's change my mat around a little bit, see if it makes a difference. I did see a tip about somebody I think had made a comment on Crafters TV about it, and I think one of the lovely ladies had said to put a plain piece of paper on top between the plate and that. I don't know if that works at all, but I think it's because I have cut into my plastic plate, which was a little bit foolish, but there you go. That's life. I'm just going to keep on going round. So again at the 4, and 2, let me do that one while I'm here and then that's ready. There we go. It's going to come off anyway, so that's fine. So again, just going in, lining up that center point, making sure my die is more or less straight as I can get it. And then back on and through. Time for this piece, just lining up that center point again, just moving that over slightly. There we go, last time. Those out of the way. I can take that die off. And then anywhere where we've got any sort of points, I'm just going to cut across for now, just to, we can always trim them a little better in a minute once we see how it is when it goes together. Okay, and I'm just going to go back in with all of these fold lines, just giving them another little burnish down, just with them going through the machine. Sometimes you can just undo that a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pop these together just to make sure that I'm not going to have any bits overlapping where I don't want them to. Once I've put that together, and there shouldn't be, so that is absolutely fabulous. So because I've only got this tiny little bit of a tag to stick this together, what I'm going to do is put mostly the red liner tape on there just for that strength. Move those out of the way. We finish with those for a minute. So again, I can find the end. Just gonna go. I think it's gonna have to be a smaller piece, and that's smaller than I would have liked. But we'll see how it holds together. I'm hoping it should be okay. And I will still put the all-purpose on it as well, just on these smaller bits where there's no glue here. It's going to be impossible to get any red liner tape on there. The only way I think you would be able to do it would be if you put the red liner tape on before you cut it, and then the red liner tape would actually be cut to the same shape as this, but that wasn't what I wanted to do today. I'm just taking these all off. With it being a smaller space, it's going to be a bit more fiddly, so I want those out of the way before I start trying to put this together. So again, another little bit of all-purpose there and there, and then I'm just going to pop that up and make sure it's flush. If you get any glue on the outside, just give that a wipe away, but do be careful because it can take the finish off your pearl card, so try not to go too crazy with it. The other glue you could use is the tacky glue, which is another good strong glue. I like the little bit of wiggle time though, I have to say. And you know, if you watch my channel a lot, you will know that I do use it an awful lot. Let's just line that up a little better, and that's the only one that's slightly misaligned, so I'm quite happy with that. And then again, just a little bit of glue on there, and then that one too there, like so. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with my scissors and just snip a little bit around, and that will be hidden later on, so it's not going to be a problem. And then if all is well, this should fit rather nicely onto our box, like so. So obviously we're going to decorate this up, so that's how we are at the moment. Okay, so in order to decorate that up, so the paper that I decided to use is my absolute favourite paper from this Spring Fever pad, and it's this heart one. So I did say I was never ever going to use this because I do love it so much, but I decided that I would use it on this box. Okay, so I'm going to grab my trimmer and I'm going to cut it to 4 inches straight down, and then I need 4 lots of 2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, and then hopefully that one should be 2 inches as well because it's an 8-inch pad. Okay, and then again, just as I did before on the last one, I'm going to mark 2 inches as the center point of all of these. like so. And again. And I'm going to come in with that same die on the centre. Just line it up. If you want to use your mat to sort of get it nice and even, then you know, please do. So I want that right to the top if I can. And I'm going to pop that on there. And I'm just thinking while I'm popping that through, if I can load up my so I'm going to try and load up my mat. So this I think came with the box, which I think is Eurocraft box, and I think that's where that's come from, and it's got a love sentiment on there. So I'm going to grab that one out. So there's our love, and I've got a spare piece of this cherry red, so I'm just going to pop that onto there. I'll use a smaller piece of tape. It's there. And I also have, or what I'm going to be using as my decoration, just move those out of the way a second, and it is a die by, it's Sue Wilson's Creative Expressions, and it's this sort of heart branch, so I'm going to be using those, and I'm going to be cutting that in gold. So just see, I've got a little spare piece of gold here rather than cutting into that straight away. Yes, I have. So if I pop that onto there, we'll do that one this time and do the next one next time. So that can go. Let's just get that into the right position. There we go. So that's perfect. And then we'll just pop our plates on, pop that through. Sorry, my chair's really creaky. Okay, so got our little love there. Put that to the side. I've got one of our pieces there, so I'm just going to line that up again on the mat, and then we can come in. Oops. And I'm just checking the spaces between there and there, trying to keep them nice and even. So that one can go back onto there. I'm just going to take that one out. There a second. And if I grab my pokey tool, just pull that out nice and gently, and you do get lots of little hearts that you can use on your project, but you get that sort of heart branch. Okay, so just move those little hearts out of the way. We don't need them, but that's fine. So, and then another one, so this one goes the other way, so you can see they sort of, you can have one going that way. So you've got options there. Don't know if it's still available, but I've had it quite some time. And then just another little piece of that gold, and we want to do a shadow for that one. So those are all in. Let's pop those two through. So I am going to be using flowers on this box at the end, but I'm not making flowers. These are going to be ready-made flowers. I have got flower foam, flower dyes, but sometimes it's just nice to use something already ready-made. And you know, I've got so many bits and pieces here. I just think if I can use them up first, and then once they're gone, I can get down to just using what I make, whether it be through a Crafter's Companion die or you know, one of the other companies. I've got quite a few Britannia flower dyes that I like as well, so making little roses out of them, I do like that. So that's that second piece. Okay, so I'm going to swap this out for a fresh piece of tape. She says, yeah, there it is. Just to do these last two. And I might try and get another die on this as well, so I'll show you what else I am doing. So again, lining that up. Trying to keep that on that mark, keep that nice and even. So I'm just checking these spaces here, trying to keep them sort of at the same level to try and gauge whether it's straight or not. We're going to trim it anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So at this point here, I'm going to bring in the abstract frame, which I got in goodie bag. Surprise, surprise, this will be the goodie bag. And we've got plenty of room there. So I'm going to bring in another piece of cherry red. Pop that on like so. Where's my scissors? I'm just going to pop that down like there. And across like so. So that can go in there. Like so. And I also want to bring in the centre of this. So I may need to pop it through twice. In fact, I might just put it through my cut tidy at the same time. That's not. Just getting that nice and central. Okay. So if I bring in my cut tidy, a few dots on there from last time. There you go. So I'm going to put that onto there like so. And I'll put that over the top of there. I don't think it's going to affect it in any way. But that's a straight cut, so it doesn't need the help. And we'll pop that through. A bit of clicking on the machine just because it's a slightly thicker sandwich. Let's check that one off first of all. And gently. Let's see if that's gone all the way through. Does look like it has. So we've got a frame that we can use elsewhere if we need to. And then I'm going to start just by popping that one out. Obviously these little bits need to come out. So we've got that one, pop back over there. And then we have this one. Just going to tease that out gently. And again, I'll pop all those bits out in a second when we get to the point of using it. Put that cut tidy out of the way. There. So lastly with this one, I'm going to pop that onto there. We've got our centre point marked. It's nice and still. Pop that onto there. And I think we're about there for that one. And then I'm going to bring in another die. This is a Carnation Crafts die. And I think it's called a scalloped square. And I've got a large, which is just same sort of size as this one. And then the next size up. So these are going to be the tops of our box. So I think we're probably only going to get one through at a time. So I'm just going to pop that onto there. Obviously all these little pieces we'll be able to use up. I'm just going to, this won't need any help because it's just a straightforward cut. So I'm just going to pop that one onto there. That onto there. That's through. Okay. We've still got a bit more die cutting to do. So that one we're done with. That's over there. That's our first lid. I'm just going to cut another one of those. Okay, so just got another piece of that cherry red. Nice and straight. It's going on to there and through. There, and then for the next size down in that one I need some of my hearts, so just grab another sheet of that. Let's take 2 pieces out. And by the way, just in case anyone's bought the Daisy collection, there's a beautiful little pattern paper in there that would go very well with that one. Okay, so again, just cutting the next layer down. So it's just got a little border. And I'm just going to grab those scissors again. Oops. And I'm going to be obviously saving all of these little pieces because that will go nicely on a smaller project. Okay, and I'm going to do this twice, once for the top and once for the bottom, and then the last thing I need to cut is a circle. So, and that's going to be in white. And I'm going to be doing that in the multi-purpose, just again for that contrast between the pearl and the matte. Oops, just going to get there. Oh, there's one other one I need to cut as well in gold. So that's that one. Into there. Again, this is a gorgeous little frame, so we'll keep that. We may be able to use that elsewhere. I'm going to pop there, and then we'll just trim that down. don't want to go too close to it in case it slips a little. And then this is the last piece of this heart. So it really needs to behave itself. There we go, let's get that in. Right, so 2 more cuts to make. And then we're going to assemble everything. So that's that one. I'll pop that to the side. I'm going to bring back this die set. So I want the circle to be that one. And I just need to give this one a quick clean out. Okay, so I've just cleaned that one out. And I bring in some mirri, gold mirri. Just a rough cut around that. As always, just save those bits. And I'm going to pop that in there. Bring my cut and toss back. I'll pop it in. Put the plates on and through we go. Nearly there, people. It was quite a lot. I did tell you it was going to be quite involved, this one. And the next project I've got planned for Crafter's Companion is also going to be a bit involved. But not as much dye stuff, I don't think. I think it's more assembly and doing that way. Okay, so I just want to check that that goes on very nicely. And then what I'm going to do is, just because I've forgotten that will not cut out that circle, and I'm just going to cut that circle out of the middle, because what I want is this some of this heart to come through. So bear with me just 2 seconds while I cut that through. Okay, so I've just cut that behind there, so that when that goes on, we're still going to have that little bit coming through. And you can see, because I've rotated that die, you do get points in different place, but I like that, so that's not a problem. So lastly then, or not lastly, nearly lastly, I'm just going to cut this circle out and I want it on that side, I think. And we'll pop that through. And then just as the last touch on that, I'm going to bring in this Letters from the Heart embossing folder, so just a script one. And if I take those out, I think this should just be, it's just a normal one. And ideally I want the writing going up, so it doesn't matter where we put it. So just saying that, let's just move that around a bit, because it just seems to have some numbers. I don't want the numbers, and we'll just pop that through. It might clack at the end when it comes out, so I apologise if it does. There it goes. Okay, right, happy days. That's all the work done. So let's pop that through, and you can just see got that beautiful bit of embossing in the background. If you wanted to, you could ink that. I'm not going to, because that's just going to be in the background for me. Okay, so let's start by assembling our top. So I'm going to bring back in this all-purpose glue, just being careful not to go too near the edges, and that one's just going to go onto the center of there. Nice press down, make sure it's nice and central, and then again for the base of my box. Just popping that onto there just so it matches. If you don't want to, you don't have to put any decorative paper on the bottom. You could just leave it white. What I would say is it might be worth cutting the base twice, so do a white base and then this, just to give it a bit of rigidity at the bottom. So that should be fine. Okay, and then we've got our gold one, and if I bring in a pokey tool, just pop these bits out, and as usual being ultra tidy and just sweeping them onto the floor. Oops. And because some of these bits are curly, they're not wanting to come out, that's the only reason. But they're all perfectly cut through. That cut tidy, you know, I absolutely love it. It's for delicate things like this, it just gives you that added little bit of pressure without putting too much pressure on the machine. And sometimes I find, I mean, I could use the metal shim with it, but when it comes out the back of my machine, it makes such a bang, it frightens a dog. You know, it just completely clacks at the end as it comes out, as the plates will go off the roller. But by using the cut and tidy, I get the same pressure, but I don't have the noise to scare the dog very often. We're nearly there. I think it's all come out of the actual gold one. I think it's just this, with it being the pearl card, sometimes it just holds it a little better in there because of the coating of the card, that's all. Okay, so those are all of our filigree bits out. Just double checking, yeah, so you can see they all came out of the gold one, so I'm not quite sure why they don't on the red. Well, I think it might be the coating, like I said. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a spare piece of card, and I'm going to bring in my dotty tape pen. No, that's not dotty, this one's dotty. And just for speed, because this has been quite a long video so far, if you wanted to, what you could do, and what I would normally do, is use tacky glue. I'm just going around the edges. And it's really good tape, you can really feel a stick on it as you go. Just need a nice light touch. What I am going to do, even though I said I'm not going to use tacky, just going to go around this centre. Oops, you've got a nice wide there. And then if I just pull that over a little bit on my gold, and then we've just got a nice little bit of gold shining through. There's one bit that didn't go out, so that's there. I'm also going to, I can pick it up, just poke bits out of this love. And this one I'm just going to go in with my tacky. Just sort of trace it round. And then I'll just dab any excess off on my hand. And then again, just drop shadow it just a little bit. And you can just move it over a little bit if you're not happy. Okay, so that's that one. And then let's just again poke this one out. I'm not doing the gold on this one. I did want some variations between all of my layers. If you want to do another gold layer, then you know, please do go ahead. Okay, so we've got that one, that one, that one, that one. We've got our bits. You should have 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That we can move out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to pop these to the side a second again. So we'll let those dry. And I'm going to bring in the lid of my box. So what I want to do with these, although you can see my box is just a little bit misshapen, what I'm going to do is just bring in my pencil and just mark so that I can cut these borders down a little bit. So it's just going to be a tiny bit off that side and a bit off the top. So I'm going to do them side by side as I go, because they may vary just slightly, because it's, you know, obviously you do it by hand. So I'm just going to pop that one into there, hold it down. Just going to take a teeny bit off there, and let's see where we'll be. And that much up in there, I think. And don't be afraid to sort of go back and cut it down more if you want to. I'm just going to take another little bit of that back. The trick is just to try and keep it as straight as possible when you're cutting it. With it being a smaller piece, it is a little bit harder. So that looks okay to me. So go ahead. I'm just going to pop a little bit of tacky in there just so it dries a little faster, because we're going to be handling it. Pop that like so. Okay. And then again with this piece, same thing. It's just going to come in. This one is not quite as straight. I need to take there. So I'm just going to pop that onto there, trying to keep it as straight as possible. And then I'm going to take a bit off that side, a bit off that side, and then see where we are. And then what I need to do is take a little bit of an angle off here, just the way this one's gone. So let's see how that is. Yep, I'm happy with that one. So again, just go around the edge with some tacky glue, which will give it a faster stick. And then my favourite purpose, and put that onto there like so. And then again, so I'm just going to go and do these two here. So I'm just going to speed the video up a little bit by cutting that out. Okay, so that's the last little bit done, and that's my layers on there all popped on. Okay, we can pop that back onto our box for now. Okay, so for the base, what I'm going to do is just take some all-purpose glue again. And I'm going to turn that over so I've got the heart side up. And I'm just going to pop that round about in the middle. Okay, I'm going to pop my lid on, pop those bits out of the way, and actually I'll put it on there again with my all-purpose. and my top is going to go on like so, and I'm just trying to get it eyeballed up so that my box is in the middle and straight. I think we're about there with that. Okay, so that's how our box is looking at the moment. So again, I'm going to come in with my tacky glue. In an ideal world I would raise this up, but I haven't got any foam pads at the moment thin enough to do that. If I was putting anything on the corners and I could hide it, then I definitely would be doing that. So just pop some of that all the way around, and then that is going straight into the middle. Just going to hold that down for a second. There we go. And then for this one, because we have got this we can raise up, I'm just going to bring in some foam pads. No, these companion ones are hiding from me. There we go. We've got them. Just going to pop some onto the back of here. And these are the smaller ones. They're around about 3mm. I'm just going to put a little smattering around. There we go. So you can put more or less on, depending on, you know, how happy you are. The pads, I did have some bigger ones from Hunky Dory there, but they're not as high, so I did want a bit of height just to make it stand out. And as always, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on, and you can just see got two little bits there that I decided not to poke out, so we're just going to pop that into the middle like so. This one is going to go flat. We'll use this tacky glue. That's the one with our writing on. Just going to pop that way up. And then I've got our love, so I want that to this side. Sorry, my glue's a bit splurgy. Just take a bit of that off. And I just want that to this side here. Just going to hold that down for a second just while that takes. There we go. And then we've got our little branches here. Might cut this down a little bit, it might be a little bit long. And I've also got my flowers. Okay, I'm going to have to use some 3D glue gel for this, so let me just check that that's flowing nicely, and it is. So let's see, so could go that way. I'm going to cut those down just a little bit, so I'm just going to take that off there, that off there, that there, just bring it down like so, and then the same on this side. So if I pop a blob of glue, let me just shape those a little bit, so I'm just going to move those. Sorry, it's Henry, you can hear barking. I'm just going to pop that into the centre there, so that will hold that. And then again with this one, just a little bit of shaping, just to give it a bit of movement. And that's going into there. And then I'm going to start with this blue flower, she says, if she doesn't drop it. And I've just taken the greenery off and I've popped that onto the back. And then I'm just going to take 2 of these white roses, if I can undo them. There we go. I've got 1 and I've got 2. And I'm just going to take the stems and just twirl them round until I get to the flower. So I've got a curl like that. And again, just round and round, round and round. And this one's gone a bit tight, so let me just pull that out a little bit. There we go, like so. And then I'm just going to pop another little blob there. Put that one onto there. Another little blob there. And that one to there. And then just to finish, I'm going to bring in some red pearls. These are a little bit redder than I would have liked. Let me just see if I've got any other. Okay, so I've got these little tiny ones. I'm just going to pop 2 little blobs of glue there, and 1 there. And then if I use my picky up tool, and these are ones that I got from AliExpress, but they have got sort of a hint of gold on them as well, so they're red but they're also gold, so they fit in quite nicely with my project there. Now if I wanted to go extra, which I'm not going to do today, I would go around and put stones all on these edges around, but as it stands, you know, as a project I can't tip it too much, but that's my finished box. And then obviously some red tissue paper and something lovely inside would be a perfect gift to somebody that you care about, as long as they don't mind the whole hearts and flowers sort of thing. Okay, but that's it for today. Just I would say a quick project, but it hasn't been, it's been quite long. Back to Hunky Dory next time. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be on the move. I have ordered something else from Hunky Dory which might be a bit of fun if it comes in time. If not, you know, we'll do that whenever that decides to turn up. You know what Royal Mail is like these days here in the UK. If they're not on strike, they're losing parcels. But yeah, we'll go back to Hunky Dory, but we'll do something else with them. And then, like I say, I've got a really nice project for Crafters Companion next time. I'm probably going to be using the Alice in Wonderland box, but I won't be using a lot of the stuff that's in there. But in my head, what I've got creating is going to be Alice in Wonderland themed. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video today. Been a long one. Thank you if you managed to stay with me. Take care of yourselves until next time. Bye bye.